Hello, this is Johanna with Modern Homemakers, and Gideon, he's my helper today. He's making us know that our toy is cool that we made here. He's going to forget about it by Christmas, though, because it's one of his presents. And today we're going to make a little choo-choo train. And this is possibly a free project if you have lots of scrap fabric and stuff. So what you need is to go print off the free pattern on modernhomemakers.com. And you need scrap fabric, you need scrap yarn that matches it, and my hidden weapon here is you need the tops. Oh my goodness! Oh! We're gonna have to give him this. You need the tops off of baby food. So, this is one of my favorite things to save mommy time. I love this baby food. Anyway, so save the tops, or find someone who still has a baby if you've moved on to toddler food. And that's all you need to make this. This is potentially a free gift that you could make. So, pretty cool. So your first step is to go to my website and get your free sewing pattern. You just print it right off. And then we're going to lay out your fabric and cut it. This is a thicker fabric, so I'm just going to do 2. But if you were to cut your choo-choo part out of thinner fabric, like this over here is a really thin cotton, see how you can see my hand behind it, I would recommend cutting out 4 and just having it doubled on each side. So your choo-choo, your door, your window, go cut them out and we'll be right back. Now that you've got all your pieces cut out, hopefully you laid it in such a way that you had your pretty sides kind of reversed here. So pretty side, pretty side. I love that texture. Thank you, Aunt Bev. I'm going to take my doors and put them right like that. Trying to make it even on both sides. No need to get out any marking pens here. This is a kid's toy. And I'm just going to put in a pin there. And we're going to try to use as close to that green as we can for thread. And go stitch our doors with a straight stitch and then a zigzag. And we'll be right back. So we're going to line up with, there's a little cutout in my presser foot. I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch from the edge here. And we're just going to do a straight stitch all the way around. You can tell I'm just awesome with the math and the measurements. Did that all the way around. You can tell I'm not even perfectly straight. We're going fast here. I'm making several of these. And then we're going to do a zigzag stitch right on the edge. Okay. We're going to cut our thread, and we're going to do the exact same thing to the other train piece. Next thing you're going to do is pin your window in the middle of your door, and it's okay if you don't have this awesome sparkly fabric that's probably from the 70s. And we're just going to do the same thing, straight stitch, and then zigzag. So we're going to go in and we're going to trim all those yucky threads. And because this 70s fabric is really super synthetic, it's very ravelly. And so I'm going to make sure and go even beyond just trimming the threads from sewing. It's still raveling out a little past the zigzag area. So we're just going to go in and trim all the way around while it's easier. And then the next step is to pin our 2 train pieces together because we've got both of them identically sewn here. And don't throw away any of these threads because we're going to use them. Okay, so we've got our train pieces and we're going to pin it all the way around wherever we need to. And we're going to stitch all the way around with the straight stitch. Except for a little bitty space on the bottom where you can fit 2 fingers. So I'm going to put a couple pins this way to remind me not to stitch there. And that should be enough pins to keep me from getting in trouble. You can use more pins if that makes you feel more comfortable. And we're going to start stitching right here next to this pin. I forgot to change thread color. We'll come back in a second. So I'm going to take this red pin out, but that's where we're going to start. I just don't want to sew over it and break a needle. That's a pain if you haven't done that yet. And we're just going to stitch right where that little cutout is in the presser foot with a straight stitch all the way around back to the other pin. So there are lots of sharp corners, so make sure that you leave the needle in and lift and keep going. Man, whoever designed this did a lot of turns. Oh wait, that was me. Didn't get my pieces perfectly cut out identically either. Okay, this is a really hard area to sew, the smokestack area, because it's really narrow and then it goes up to a circle. Take this pin out. Any unevenness you have, it's okay because we're going to be doing an over, like with a crewly needle, we're going to... And we're coming up to the end here. That was a lot of turns and curves, wasn't it? And we're going to come right up to this pin and stop. I'd like to point out that I was too lazy to change my bobbin thread, and I just wanted to point out that even though there's blue on this other side, it doesn't matter because we're going to be going around with a finishing stitch. So anyway, don't feel like you have to swap out your bobbin with all these different color changes. The next thing we're going to do is, this is what we saved all that scrap fabric for. Instead of throwing it away, all those threads and stuff, you can use polyfill if you want to spend money, but I'm pretty cheap, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut this scrap fabric up into teeny little pieces. So that takes a while. I'll show you when we get back. I'm making some of these extra fine to go up the smokestack. Okay, we've left this hole right here, and we're going to take some of these teeny pieces, and I'm going to use a crochet hook. You could use a pencil if you don't have a crochet hook. Something that is blunt at the end but thin. And we're going to start pushing little cut up pieces of fabric up the smokestack. And they don't want to go. I'll open it up a little, you can see a little more. So that's right in that spot. And we're pushing them up in there. So this is a little tedious, and I'll come back, but basically all you're going to do is keep putting in stuffing, but we're going to start with these harder areas, the smokestack, and then over here the door portion, and we're going to keep filling up stuffing and pushing it in with the crochet hook. Choo-choo! We've got it stuffed as full as we can get here. Its guts are ready to spill out, and that's important because you need it to be stiff and firm so that it stays up, and don't worry, those wheels are coming soon. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to hand stitch this little section right here, because who knows what that would do to your sewing machine. And don't worry about it being super pretty. We're just going to do grabbing the ends here, stitch it straight all the way down. These do not have to be pretty stitches because we're not going to see them. So go all the way to the end and tie off, and go grab your yellow yarn. That's our next step. So for this next step, I've threaded my crewling needle really long, stretching it out there as long as you can reach your arms out and then some. And I've doubled it, but we're not going to be doing it with a double. I just doubled it to get more on there. And we're going to start about the same spot down here. Oh, this is going to be fun to sew through this fabric. It's so pretty though. Oh, you might need a thimble. And what we're going to do is come all the way through and tie it. Snip. And we're going to go all the way around from the front to the back, right about where you stitched. And this is just going to make it stronger, so it doesn't come undone, so the baby can't get in there, or the toddler can't get in there and eat all the stuffing. And it's just so cute when it gets done. So put each stitch right next to the last one, and we're going to go all the way around, and I'll show you how to tie off at the end. So we've gone all the way around, and it's just such a nice touch. And what we're going to do is we're going to tie off. I take this and twist it so it's a nice double knot. And I'm going to do that a second time, even though it came unthreaded. I guess I was a little overzealous with my pulling there. And we're going to go in and just tie it off one more time. And if you wanted, as you're sewing around, you could tie off every once in a while, just in case your end came undone, the whole thing wouldn't come undone. And we're going to snip that thread, and now we're putting on the wheels. So once again, these came off of your baby food toppers, and before you put them on, you can kind of play with it and make sure you have the space to put 4 on each side, which I do. So I'm just going to start on this end. And I have double threaded, so my needle here with a purple to match. And it's just like sewing on a button. These, are just going to be just like the buttonholes. So we're going to go across and each way, back and forth. Now there are 2 ways you can do this. You can sew on each button separately, which I show how to do in my how to make a toy car video, but I'm going to show you a different way this time, and that is the more traditional button sewing of coming through on one side. So you can see we're staying all on one side, coming back around. And there is no such thing as too much thread showing here, because we want to go around as many times as possible, because were this to pop off, this would be dangerous for your child. It'd be a choking hazard. Anything that could fit down a roll of toilet paper is dangerous. So just like the eyes or the buttons on any toy, we want to make sure that if you see loose threads on something, you're fixing them. So we're going to go around this a gazillion times. And so now I'm going to go this way. I'm starting to creep up a little too high there. You want to make sure your wheel stays right down there, so just constantly be keeping an eye on it. It's easy for things to move around when you're sewing on buttons. Or the tops of baby food. Anyway, so I'm going to continue to do that over and over and over again, and we're going to put 4 wheels on each side of the train, so 8 wheels total, and I'll come back and show you what that looks like. So there you have it. We've got our 8 wheels on, and just really take your time. So this is a safe toy, and however many times you think you need to go around, double it, because this is a choking hazard and we would just feel bad forever. So oh, Gideon is telling us what he thinks of his choo-choo. Do you like it, choo-choo? Anyway, so that's all you need to do. Say bye-bye, Gideon. Say bye-bye.